Welcome, dear hearts, to A Course of Love book gathering written by Perron, first receiver. A couple of things before we start. The book gatherings here will be on a new day beginning May 19th. They'll be on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the link is available if you'd like to join live on the A Course of Love website under Mondays. It will be under Mondays. It's currently under Sundays, but it will be under Mondays. And that will begin next week on May 19th. And also that past recordings of previous chapters are available on YouTube at Kimberly 8th Day. So if you need to catch up, it's all there for you already in a little folder. So today I have the second edition here of A Course of Love. And for me, chapter 17, which is where we are tonight, is on page 121. And so I'll just go ahead and begin to read chapter 17 of A Course of Love, Conscious Non-Planning. Being who you are is no luxury reserved for the idle rich, or the very young, or old. Being who you are is necessary for the completion of the universe. Without the real you in it, there would be a void within the universe, and this would be impossible. And yet, there is a way in which you are missing. Welcome. I'm reading on page 121. If you're just joining, chapter 17, Conscious Non-Planning. And I'm on the second paragraph. I'll read the first one again for those who are just joining. And it's very packed, so I'll go ahead and read it again. Being who you are is no luxury reserved for the idle rich or the very young or old. Being who you are is necessary for the completion of the universe. Without the real you in it, there would be a void within the universe, and this would be impossible. And yet, there is a way in which you are missing. This has to do with consciousness and what you are aware of. Let's just say the space that you would fill as your own self is held for you by another part of your consciousness that has never left it. It is the reunion of these two selves that will bring about the completion of the universe and the return of heaven. Hmm. Where two are joined together can be rightly can be used rightly here as well as in regard to relationship. Hmm. Where two are joined together can be used rightly here as well as in regard to relationship. Your choice to separate from God is but a separation from your own self. And this is truly the separation that needs to be healed to return you to God. You shy away from thoughts of a consciousness beyond that of which you are aware because of fear. And yet you know you cannot claim that you are aware of all that exists within the universe, or even that you fully know your own self. What is fearful about the unknown is simply that it is unknown. Coming to know what was previously unknown to you can remove the fear if you will let it. Consciousness of which you are unaware is not magic, superstition, or insanity. Yet you shield yourself from knowledge of it as if it would change the nature of the universe itself. It will change your perception of it. This is both what you desire and what you fear, just as you both desire and fear knowing yourself. There is an underlying assumption that you know all that is good for you to know, and that to know more is going to mean that things you would rather not know, and therefore must be bad, or what will be revealed. And yet all the evidence of your own thoughts will reveal to you your willingness to accept the bad about yourself and your world. And so this assumption that what is unknown must be bad cannot be valid, even by your own standards of evidence. Yet, in your estimation, the unknown cannot be fully good or worthy of your knowing, because the reason that you use is loyal to the world you see. This is why even heaven, which you would label good, is not wholly good in your estimation of it. Why is it not wholly good? Because you have defined it as lacking much of what you have judged to be good in the world you now perceive. You have, however, willingly entered many unknown states. Some of you have gotten married, had children, taken mind-altering drugs, or attempted strenuous or even terrifying physical feats. But all of you, without exception, have willingly entered the unknown state of sleep and experienced the loss of consciousness that it brings. Each of you has had the experience of dreaming during the time of sleep. Some may claim they know everything there is to know about sleep and dreaming, being married, using drugs, or having children. But even those of you who would listen to what the experts have to say, believe this not. Each day is an unknown you enter into, despite your every attempt to anticipate what it might hold. And yet, while it would seem you would grow quite used to this phenomenon, you do not. You still make your plans and rail against everything that interferes with them, even knowing in advance that your greatest efforts at organization are often to no avail. A Course in Miracles asks you to receive instead of plan. And yet few of you understand the meaning of this simple instruction or what it says to you of the unknown. What it says is that the unknown is benevolent. What it says is that what you cannot anticipate can be anticipated for you. What it says is that you could be receiving constant help if you would but let it come. What it says is that you are not alone. Receiving implies that something is being given. Receiving implies a willingness to accept what is given. This willingness is what you do not offer. Yet this is due to your lack of understanding about the nature of creation and can be corrected. Sin is simply the belief that correction cannot be made. This is the mistake that has happened in creation. This is how the impossible has become possible. If you were not so determined to believe correction cannot be made. Correction would have occurred. This is the original error that is so in need of correction. Your belief in sin, or in other words, your belief that what you have chosen is not reversible. Would anyone care to read tonight? Okay, then I'll just continue. Is this not evident in the judgment you rely upon and in your treatment of criminals, as well as of your own self and those you love? You believe mistakes must be paid for, not once, but many times, and no matter how heavy the payment is, it only pays for what was done and cannot ever be undone. What does payment do but purchase something that is then yours to keep? What have you purchased with all your effort to make amends for your wrongdoing? You have but purchased guilt and hold it to yourself, a constant companion and a judge on your own self. See you now why those who judge cannot enter heaven. Judgment proceeds from the belief in sin and the irreversibility of all errors. If you do not believe, you can reverse or turn back to the state in which you existed before the original error, then you never shall. And yet, all you need do is turn back. Being an observer of your body has prepared you for this. Step back now to the place that has been held for you. You have not lost your place in mind because you wandered. It has been held for you by the most loving of brothers, a brother united with your own self. This space you can turn back to holds no judgment and no fear, and so it is the repository of all that has proceeded from love. There it keeps all love's gifts safe for you. Love's gifts are gifts of creation or extension, gifts you have both given and received. Each act of love is added to the space in the universe that is yours and has become part of the whole along with you. All that has proceeded from fear is nothing and has no existence apart from your own thoughts. Your thoughts, however, have become quite harsh and quite entrenched in the belief in their right to judge. Many of you have let go of your belief in sin and still held on to your belief in judgment, thinking one is different from another, from the other. They are not different, and while you do not see this, your thoughts remain based on fear, and fear thus remains your foundation. For judgment is but the belief that what God created can be changed and has been. Forgiveness, which replaces judgment, must come from your heart. To forgive based on the logic of your mind rather than the compassion of your heart is to only give thought to forgiveness. This many of you will give, even to deciding to forgive despite your better judgment. See you now how little sense this makes, how insincere this even sounds. Sincerity is synonymous with wholeheartedness, a concept you do not understand, for it is beyond concepts. But now we begin to integrate your learning as we move to wholeness. The first move toward wholeness is but to understand this: heart and mind are not separate. A united mind and heart is a whole heart, or wholeheartedness. You may ask then why this course has treated them as separate parts of you. This is simply because this is the way you see them, and because it has allowed me to address the different functions you have given them. What is this saying? Cannot have different functions. And now, your mind and heart must work together in the united function we have established, returning to you your identity within God's creation. So that ended chapter 17. I'm moving on now to chapter 18, which is page 125 in the second edition book, which looks like this. Chapter 18, The Mind Engaged. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all mothers and to all of you will hold the divine feminine within you to honor that part of you. I honor it and thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chapter 18, the mind engaged. Many of you believe God's creation included the fall from paradise as described in the biblical story of Adam and Eve and in the creation stories of many cultures and religions. When you accept this, even in non-literal terms, as the story of the separation, you accept separation itself. I'm going to read that part again. Many of you believe God's creation included the fall from paradise as described in the biblical story of Adam and Eve and in the creation stories of many cultures and religions. When you accept this, even in non-literal terms, as the story of the separation, you accept separation itself. This story is, rather than a story of an actual event, a story that describes the problem. It is but the story of perception's birth. And your perception of the fall makes of the fall a curse. This interpretation would be inconsistent, however, with a benevolent God and a benevolent universe. This interpretation accepts that separation can occur. It cannot. Belief in the fall is belief in the impossible. Imagine that you are part of a chain of bodies holding hands and encircling the globe. I am among those whose hand you hold. All are linked, even if each one is not holding the hand of every other one. If one link in the chain were to be removed, the chain would no longer form a circle, but would fall, each end suspended in space. The chain would now be a line seeming to go from here to there, instead of enclosing and encompassing everything. The separation assumes that you can break the chain. This would be as impossible as it would be for me to let go of your hand. Now imagine further that this chain is keeping the Earth in its orbit. It is obvious that the Earth falling out of orbit would cause dire consequences of a universal nature. It is simply less obvious that you are part of what has established and keeps a universal order, part of a whole that would be a completely different whole without your presence, just as the universe would be a completely different universe without the presence of the earth. Yet this is, in effect, what you think you have done. You think that you have changed the nature of the universe and made it possible for life to exist separately and alone with no relationship, no connection, no unity with the whole. This you have not done. You have not fallen from unity. You have not fallen from God. This chain I have described helps you to imagine the place I hold for you as you held mine when I entered the world in physical form. Even if it is just an illustration, it illustrates that none of us leave wholeness or each other. While you have been taught that you are not your body, it is impossible for you to deny the body here. Yet you can change the function you have ascribed to it, and so its way of functioning. If you do not see it as the result of a fall, as a curse, as a punishment from God, or as your home, a dwelling place that keeps you separate, then you can begin to see it is as what it is. A learning device given you by a loving creator. Before the idea of separation, there was no need for learning, but a loving creator creates not that which can have a need go unfulfilled. As soon as the need for learning arose, the perfect means to fulfill that need was established. You have simply failed to see it as such. This is the error birthed by perception, before which there was no possibility of misinterpretation. And because there was no external world to be perceived, a learning device, when not perceived as such, holds not much hope of fulfilling the function it was created to fulfill. But when perception changes and a thing is seen as what it is, then it cannot fail to accomplish what it was created to accomplish. An external world is but a projection that cannot take you away from the internal world where you exist in wholeness, a link in the chain of creation. Imagine again this chain and yourself among those who comprise it, and imagine the life that you experience now taking place much like that you would see projected on a movie screen. You have not left your place as you view this movie and experience its sights and sounds, joys and sorrows. And yet you are also part of the projection. And this is where your awareness now abides, seemingly trapped upon the screen, viewing everything from the two eyes of the one projected there. Again, this is but what this course's exercises have attempted to help you see, a world you can observe and learn in and from for as long as you would choose to learn what the idea of separation would teach you. Making a new choice, a choice to learn from unity, is what this course prepares you for. Learning from unity requires an integrated mind and heart, or wholeheartedness. A half-hearted approach to this learning will not work. Nor will the attention of a split mind. It cannot be emphasized strongly enough that you learn what you choose to learn. For proof of this is all you need do is look at the world that was created from your wish to learn what the idea of separation would teach you. When you resided in unity, you could not imagine what this world would be like any more than you can now imagine what a united world will be like. You did not understand from unity's standpoint what it was that you were asking for, or the extent of involvement this learning would require. In order to learn what the idea of separation would teach you, you needed to believe that you existed in a separated state, thus forgetting that you actually reside in unity was a requirement of this condition you wished to experience. This condition was thus made available. While this explanation makes perfect sense, you find it quite unbelievable on the basis of your perception of yourself and the limited range of power you believe your decision making to have. The only way to make the unbelievable believable is to alter what you experience. The state in which you now exist was not only unbelievable, but also inconceivable to you in your natural state. Experience was required in order to alter your belief system and is required now as well. The experience of unity will alter your belief system and that of others, for what you learn in unity is shared. Because you are currently learning from separation, however, each must experience unity individually before their belief system can be changed, even when what is learned is shared at another level. Perception of levels is a function of time, and thus it seems that great amounts of time are needed before change of a lasting nature can occur. This is why miracles save time, for they integrate all levels, temporarily collapsing time. Time is actually a measurement of learning, or the time it takes for learning to pass from one level to another through experience. For here, learning is experienced in time. In order for your experience base to change from that of learning in separation to that of learning in unity, learning from what unity can teach you must be birthed as an idea. To hear or learn of another's idea is not to give birth to it. You thus must each experience the birth of the idea of learning from unity in order for it to come from within and leave not its source. An idea of mine can only become an idea of yours through your relationship with it. You need only to experience this idea in your own way, from the desire to know, from which all ideas are born, in order to give it life. Once an idea is born, it exists in relationship to its creator. All that remains now is a choice of participation in unity All that you desired was participated in fully by a mind and heart combined in wholeheartedness. You knew yourself to be the creator and loved all that you created. You did not desire and fear something at the same time, and your desires did not change from moment to moment. What you desired, you, you experienced fully with your whole being, making it one with you. That you keep yourself from desiring anything fully here is what makes this existence so chaotic and erratic. A mind and heart in conflict is what keeps you from desiring anything fully and thus from creating. Thus, the integration of mind and heart must be our goal in order for you to create the state in which unity can be experienced. Obviously, this is up to you, as you chose to create a state of separation. You must choose to create a state of unity. It can come as no surprise to you that your mind has ruled your heart. What this course has thus far attempted to do is briefly change your orientation from mind to heart. This is the first step in what will seem now like an attempt to balance two separate things, but is really an attempt to unite what you have only perceived as separate. If the heart is the center of your self, where then is the mind? The center is but the source in which all exists as one mind. To say this to you before we loosen some of your perceptions about the supremacy of the mind, however, would have been folly. The one mind is not as you have perceived your mind. The one mind is but a mind in which love rules, and mind and heart are one. We will proceed by calling this wholeheartedness rather than mind or heart. A wandering mind is seen as quite the norm, and thoughts that dart about in a chaotic fashion are as acceptable and seemingly as inevitable to you as breathing. A split mind is seen as not much less normal, although it is recognized that a split mind makes decision making difficult. You were already told that the only exercise for your mind that would be included in this course of love is that you dedicate all thought to union. This now must be seen in two dimensions rather than one. In addition to dedicating thought to unity with the whole, you must dedicate yourself to unifying thought itself. You do not realize what a wholehearted choice in regards to experiencing separation did. Wholeheartedness is but a full expression of your power. A full expression of your power is creation. What is being created cannot be uncreated. What has been created can, however, be transformed. Transformation occurs in time. Thus, transformation and miracles need to work hand in hand. The transformation from a state of separation to a state of unity is a miracle indeed. For this transformation requires recognition of a state that you cannot recognize in separation. While this is a paradox, it is not impossible for the simple reason that you never left the state of unity. You do not recognize. Your lack of recognition can thus be overcome by remembering the truth of what you are. Unifying thought is more than a matter of focus or single-mindedness, although these are both steps in right direction. Unifying thought is also a matter of integrating the thought or language of your heart with that which you more naturally perceive as thought, the words and images that go through your mind. We talked briefly here of emotions, doing so only to differentiate your feelings of love from your feelings of lack of love or fear. What we have as yet talked even less of, however, is what emotion covers up and the stillness that lies beneath. I've referred to the true language of the heart as communion or union of the highest level and of remembrance of who you are being and remembrance of who you are being the means by which communion can return to you. So what we speak of now is integrating remembrance and thought. While we spoke of what you think of as emotion being reactions of the body to stimulus, we did not speak of this stimulus itself. Before we do so, we must clarify further the function of the body as a learning device. Your body seems to experience both pleasure and pain. Yet as a learning device, it is neutral. It does not experience, but only conveys that which can be experienced to you. You then relay a reaction back to it. This circular relationship between you and the body is the perfect relationship for the purpose of learning. Since both the experience and the reaction to the experience can then be learned from, and because the learner can choose both. It is not, however, the perfect relationship when you have misperceived the body as your home rather than as a learning device. Because you have misperceived the body as your home, there is, in a sense, no you to which the body can send its signals. I'll read that part again. Because you have misperceived the body as your home, there is, in a sense, no you to which your body can send its signals. And so the body seems to be in charge and to be both the experiencer and the interpreter of experience. In addition, this misperception has allowed the body's function to go unrecognized. You thus have not recognized the truth of what causes pain, nor that you can reject the experience of it. The same is true of pleasure. Read that part again. In addition, this misperception that has allowed the body's function to go unrecognized. You thus have not recognized the truth of what causes pain, nor that you can reject the experience of it. The same is true of pleasure. Determination of pleasure and pain is made with the judgment of the separated self, who not only believes it is the body, but that it is at the body's mercy. Yet the body has no mercy to offer the separated self. It's only a learning device. But you have not recognized this and have failed to learn that all you experience as painful is the result of feelings of lack of love. And that all you have experienced as pleasurable are feelings of love. This would seem to contradict what was said earlier about the pain experienced from love and your willingness to cling to it despite the pain you are experiencing. Yet the pain comes not from feelings of love, but feelings of love lost. Having no one to receive and reject feelings of pain, and replace them with feelings of love causes all your distress. Think not that you react to pain of any kind with the love from your real self that would dispel it. The self you have taken out of the learning loop is the self of love. Okay, that ends chapter 18, and that ends my reading for tonight. Thank you for joining. And again, the new day is Monday, beginning May 19th. And you can find the link if you'd like to join me live. The link to join is available on the A Course of Love website. It's right now under Sunday, but it will be under Monday very soon. And the other thing is that if you go to Kimberly 8th Day on YouTube, you'll find all the recordings here on that channel of previous readings. If you would like to listen to that, to catch up until next time. So next week, we meet on Monday, the 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the link is on A Course of Love website. Here is A Course of Love by Mari Perron, First Receiver. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening. Love to you until next time.